Good morning, good morning, good morning. The lovely sunny day today here in the UK, and the day before the shortest day of the year, which is the 21st of December. I've just braved the crowd in the shopping to get some last minute food bits and pieces for Christmas, and I thought I want to take advantage and actually discuss something that I find is very confusing for a lot of people. When I speak to my clients, they struggle to understand what's going on. Hi Kanjal, I can see you there, say hi. Like everybody else can see you. So people can struggle to understand what they're eating is actually good or not. So I thought today I'm going to do a session about understanding food labels, so that hopefully it will make more people aware of when they go and buy food, whether what they're buying it is what they think they're buying, because that's where confusion is, and they can make better choices as a result of that and improve their health. So first of all, I want to cover processed foods. Now, there is a lot of misunderstanding out there on what processed foods are. A lot of people think processed food, we're thinking about pizzas and, takeaways and stuff like that. Processed food is, most of the stuff that comes in packet is processed, put it that way. Shortening the long story short. So, anything from bread, pasta, meat. I mean, you have salami, you have sausages, cereals, gluten-free foods. Oh my god, super processed. Dairy products are super processed. You're not talking just having milk, we're talking about cheese, so much processed cheese. You got margarines. Oh my god, don't get me started on margarine. So if you think about it, the average person will probably eat 2/3 of the meals will be made of processed food. Yeah, so to understand what processed food is, think of it in these terms. Does it grow like that in nature? Yeah, so of course you don't find cereals growing on trees, from the ground. They don't. They've been processed. The grains have been collected and then they've been highly processed. And of course, then you add sugars and all sorts of things. Same thing with sausages. Somebody asked me a few days ago, whether gluten-free sausages, hi Mark, whether gluten-free sausages were healthy. Well, it's no. The short answer. I mean, if you look at the ingredients in sausages, unless you get your sausages straight from a butcher, and the butcher have prepared the sausages themselves, so they can guarantee what's inside it. You go on any supermarket, you look at any sausage, they will contain sugar, they will contain gluten, they will contain wheat, they contain so much crap, is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So, and again, do you see sausages in a nice field of grass, eating grass? No. The cow, pigs, I should say, graze and, and eat grass and eat all various type of things. So it's the animal, so you have to get the purest form of the animal. Same with vegetables. I mean, the chips don't grow out of grounds. Potatoes do. So you eat a potato as it is. So you want to bake it, it's a jacket potato, that's fine. You don't go and start frying stuff, or buy potato chips. Always potato is good for you. Yeah. And another thing, things like, there's a lot of healthy foods out there. They play on the fact that people are becoming more aware of the issue with things like crisps and stuff like that. So you have now these vegetable crisps. Read the ingredients. This stuff is fried with something like rapeseed oil, one of the most highly inflammatory type of oil existing, super refined. Yeah, so whatever benefit you could have had from the quinoa crisp, or from the lentil crisps, yeah, whatever little benefit that plant had in it is just being killed by this awful oil that's been fried in. Yeah, so, and again, do those kind of vegetable crisps, do you see them coming out of the ground? They don't. Yeah, so it's processed. So if it doesn't come like that in nature, it's processed. So how to stay away from processed food? Nice and simple. You eat if provided you're not vegan or vegetarian, so you eat fresh meat as it comes. So you want a nice steak, you want a piece of chicken fillet, you want a piece of turkey, you know, fine. Fish as it comes in nature, you know, fresh fish, salmon, you know, not salmon slices, smoked salmon slices, they got sugar. Yeah, salmon doesn't not come in smoked slices. Salmon comes as a fish, so you buy the fish. It's very good for your omega-3s, but when they start adding the mineral sugar to that to make it taste nice, then the omega-3s, forget it. The damage of the sugar is going to outweigh the benefit of omega-3 from the salmon. Yeah, so things that come in nature, fruit, vegetable, as it comes in nature. Yeah, so not, you know, fruit as you get in Christmas puddings, you know, stuff like that. So, or fruit in biscuits, or mince pies. Yeah, so all that is processed stuff. So the idea is just look at the food you're eating, and provide it comes, ask yourself, does it grow like this, or does it move and eat food around the, you know, places like this in nature? If it doesn't, then it's been altered. And I can guarantee you, any alterations made by men in a factory are bad alterations. They don't make it healthier at all. Yeah. So even cereals, they say, oh, cereals with extra vitamins E, B's and whatever. Yeah. But cereals, most cereals got so much sugar, not to mention most cereals contain gluten and wheat, which causes so much damage to your gut. You know, gluten is a precursor of leaky gut, which then brings on autoimmune disorders. It totally, you know, creates havoc in the human body, high inflammation. So you can add all the vitamin B, C, D, whatever you want to add to cereals. The bottom line, the base thing is flawed. The actual item, it's got wheat, it's got gluten, then they add sugars, of course, because otherwise it tastes like crap. Yeah, so those are all processed foods. So let's talk about reading the labels. Hi Jane, hi Shai, oh my goodness, lots of people, glad to see everybody. Mark, if I don't see you guys, just say hi and I can see you hopefully. So talking about understanding what you're eating. If you really have to eat something that comes in the packet and you know it's processed, do yourself a favor. Do not look at the front of a packet, because the front of a packet is just pure marketing. I had a client recently who told me, oh, I bought some, I'm not going to name the cereals, I bought this cereal brand that said it's high in protein. It had across the packet, big letters, protein. So he thought, because obviously he wanted to build muscle, that, oh my God, I can have cereals with extra protein there. I showed him at the back of a packet. You know what protein was taught? I said, what protein we put? I couldn't think of them putting any animal protein or anything like that there, you know. You're stuck on the plane, Jane, bless you. So I was thinking, I was curious, because what kind of protein can I put there? I look at the back of the package. You know what protein it was? Wheat protein. Now, you know what wheat is, yeah? Gluten, wheat, that's what you find in cereals, yeah? What people don't understand, the gluten is a type of protein. Causes so much damage to your body, but it is technically a protein. Yeah, it's not the protein you and me understand, you know, the good type of protein, the building blocks of your body, you know, for your muscles, for your bones, for your hormones. The type of gluten this cereal had, it was wheat protein, of course, because cereals contain wheat and gluten, which is one of the most damaging type of protein you can have. But because of trading standards, if you contain a little bit of something, you're allowed to say contains this. So big protein, they didn't put wheat protein, they put protein, because people look at the front of a package. Same with protein bars. Guys, if you go and buy a protein bar, you are buying a sugar bar, a carbohydrate bar. You're not buying a protein bar. Look at the back on the labels. You will see nearly stuck there as well. You will see, if you look at nutritional value, you will have carbohydrates, fat, protein. Yeah, you will see when you buy protein bars that these protein bars actually contain, if not more, very often the same amount of carbohydrates than they contain of protein. So maybe 50% carbs, 50% protein. It could be very often 60% carbs, of which 30% sugars, and then could only have, 30% protein. Yeah, so you're actually having a sugar bar. So, and by the way, protein bars, do you see protein bar walking around in the field? No. Okay, protein bars are super processed. Please stay away from that stuff. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, to make it a bit more practical, I've got this. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, so this is, I tell you, is chicken breast fillet. Chicken breast, one of the healthiest things, possibly, people think. Yeah, well, this one is, you can see, is coated. It's got breaded here. It's breaded, and it says southern fried chicken breast fillet. I don't eat this crap, I tell you now. Unfortunately, some members of my family do. Yeah, and you can take a horse to water, you can't make them drink. So I can only preach, but if I won't listen to you, let them make their own mistakes, and then they learn eventually. Yeah, so chicken breast fillet. So you look at that, you say, oh, chicken breast is good for you. Excellent, so it's not too bad. And actually, if you look at the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, hopefully at the bottom here, there's this new traffic light system that we use in the UK. I don't know whether they use it in other countries. So it gives you amber, green or red, yeah, to give you an indication, a very quick glimpse of what, if it's good for sugars, fat and so forth. Yeah, now this one basically tells you fat is amber, it's got 9 grams of fat. Yeah, of which saturate, yeah, is got 1.1 gram of saturate. Sugars is got 1.1 gram of sugar. Now, isn't it funny? Yeah, that is, it got as much sugar as it's got saturated fat. And this is chicken. Chicken should not have sugars at all, but there you go. And then salt is amber, because it's 0.6, not too bad. This is based on 100 grams. Yeah, now so you look at that, you look at, there's no reds. Yeah, so there's no reds at all. So you think, oh, it's not too bad actually, average, chicken is good for you, healthy and so forth. Now look at the ingredients at the back. I don't know if you can see this, guys. At the back, there's a huge amount of ingredients there. So if it's chicken fillet, even if it was just chicken bread, we breaded, so you should have chicken, you should have flour, or is bread, if you use breaded breadcrumbs, and some oil, yeah, for frying. Now this one is got, so let me tell you, it's got ingredients. By the way, when you look at the ingredients at the back, the actual ingredients, the things at the top, they're in order of quantity. Yeah, so the first thing you read is the most, and then as you come down to the list, it's less and less and less. So the one at the bottom is the least amount, typically per 100 grams, yeah, of products. So ingredient, chicken breast fillet, 76%. Okay, so it's not ideal, yeah, but 76%. You will want, given the fact that chicken breast, you want to be a bit more, but it is breaded, so we know that. 76%. Second ingredient, wheat flour. Yeah, so wheat flour is, wheat we know is one of the most allergenic type of food, of protein. So obviously because it's breaded, breadcrumbs, yeah, it's got wheat in it, we know that. Anyway, so you got next one, you got rapeseed oil. Oh my god, one of the most inflammatory possible oil you can have in the world. Yeah, so if you want to give yourself heart disease, you're not looking at saturated fat, you are looking at refined vegetable oils. Rapeseed oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. All of those type of oils are highly refined, and they're actually very high in omega-6 and omega-9s, and they are so inflammatory. Yeah, they raise your triglycerides alongside the bad sugars. You have those one, by the way, all in one product. Yeah, so, and I'm gonna cover that in a second. So rapeseed oil, water, okay, semolina, again, more type of wheat. You got some makes you laugh. Then he puts wheat protein, because it sounds bad if it's protein, it's still freaking wheat. Yeah, it's still not good for you. Spicy, which is fine, black pepper, so in forth. Wheat starch, I mean, 4 times I mentioned wheat now, yeah. And then you got dextrose. Dextrose is a name for sugar. Yeah, you got glucose, you got sucrose, which is glucose and fructose. You got fructose, then you get dextrose, maltodextrin, yeah, all those are type of sugars, yeah. So what did I say? Bad oil, rapeseed oil, add to that the bad sugars, and then you got in a product that should be completely healthy because it's chicken breast, all of a sudden you have a combination of the things that will increase your triglycerides, which then will put you at risk of heart disease, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. Yeah, but we're not finished yet. So we got dextrose, obviously salt, rice flour, yeast extract, because God forbid we need to add some yeast. You have no idea how many people have got intolerances to yeast. Yeah, and you get also things from skin reactions to gut problems with yeast as well. And then what we got, onion powder, garlic, which is fine. Oh, sunflower oil, because listen, it's not bad enough they fried it with rapeseed oil, which one of the worst type of oil. They added sunflower oil, another highly refined oil, yeah, vegetable oil, that causes even more damage. You might as well put some freaking trans fat in there and never call it a day. You know, heart attack on a plate. For a pot, that should be good, by the way. And then you got more spices, more pepper, onion, and got more garlic extract. Yeah, so basically we had wheat mentioned 4 times. You got 2 different types of very, very highly inflammatory vegetable oils, refined vegetable oils. And to add to that, you got a good dose of dextrose as well. A bit of sugar, because God forbid, you know, it might not taste good enough otherwise. This should have been a good product. This product, according to the UK guidelines, is not bad. It's got 2 things on green, and it's got 2 things on amber. It's got no red warning whatsoever. Why? Because they look for the fat, look at saturated fat. Yeah, chicken contains saturated fats naturally. That's natural, normal. Yeah, instead of looking at saturated fat, they should be looking at the vegetable oil, refined vegetable oil. That would have been red, and then you say, oh my god, this is not very good. Then they should be looking at dextrose. That will be higher, and you will be worried about that. Yeah, this is what it is. This is marketing ploy. They show you lovely products, cook nicely. They put that one, you know, the information on food and information that is, it makes it look like it's good products, and all the truth information is all at the back. Yeah, so all the ingredients. So of course, then they put allergy advice. You know, for allergens, look at the ingredient in bold. Yeah, and then it puts, in addition, cereals containing gluten, because the reality is most people don't understand that wheat is a type of gluten. So if I told them they're sensitive to gluten, they look for gluten, and unless they add there that it contains gluten, because wheat contains gluten, then people will think this is good for them. Yeah, so this is just exactly, this is supposed to be a healthy product. It's chicken breast fillet, because they've been breaded and they've been fried with 2 different types of bad vegetable oil for you. This is now a very bad meal. You have this regularly and you're going to give yourself some health problems. So the solution is have chicken as it is. Not breaded, not fried, you know, not with any concoction. You want to make it spicy, you use spices yourself. Put some paprika on that, you know, put your own spices on that. Yeah, do not buy stuff that's ready made like this. So this is what I'm trying to say when I talk about read the ingredients. The truth is all at the back. Yeah, it's not the front. The front is a marketing ploy, and unfortunately, you know, trading standards and the regulation allow the big companies to put all this information up front, because provided it contains a little bit of some ingredient which is good, they can make a big deal of it at the front of a packet to attract people, because you know, how many of you stop and read the ingredients before you actually buy a product? No, we look at the front. We do, oh, this is healthy for us. Yeah, no, it's not. You know, actually, it's very bad. Same things with margarines. I mean, margarine is one of the worst things you can have. It contains trans fat. But what you get the margarines that you got, they got now with extra omega-3s. So, oh, everybody knows omega-3s are good for you, anti-inflammatory. So, oh, the margarine's got omega-3, so it's good for us. They got trans fat in there. The crap they put in margarine, the process margarine goes through, you know, to be what it is, spreadable and all that. You can put as many omega-3s as you want and add it. The bottom line is the trans fat will negate any benefit from the omega-3s. Yeah, it's processed. You know what will be better? Butter. Get a good grass-fed butter like Kerrygold. Yeah, Keep your room temperature. It doesn't need to go in the fridge, and then you can spread that if you want to spread it anywhere. Yeah, and that's 100% healthier than margarine, unless you are, of course, lactose intolerant, in which case you can have ghee, which is the clarified butter version of normal butter, so there's no milk protein in there at all. Or you can use coconut oil, nice plant version of that. You can use coconut oil to cook. Yeah. And oils as well. By the way, talking about oils, let's just to clarify what oils are good. So the ones I mentioned to you in the packet, rapeseed oil and sunflower oil, then you got safflower oil, canola oil, all those are bad, highly inflammatory oil. What do you use for cooking? You can use butter, of course ghee, you can use if you want to, coconut oil, yeah, or you can use animal-based type of products like tallow, beef dripping, duck fat, yeah, if you want to cook with that. For olive oil, you gotta be very careful, because extra virgin olive oil is not to be used for cooking. It's for seasoning, salads and cold stuff like that. There is olive oil which is you can use for sauces and things like that, which is called just olive oil. It's not extra virgin. That one has got a slightly higher smoking point, so you can cook with that. But olive oil should never ever be used for frying. It's not, because when you fry, you damage the nutrient value of olive oil, and then you end up with more toxic things. So for frying, butter, coconut oil, or tallow, goose fat, that kind of stuff. Yeah. For seasoning, you can use avocado oil, you can use some seed oils like hemp oil is good, hemp seed oil, extra virgin olive oil, yeah, those kind of things. So just be very careful with those, because oils can cause a problem as well. Refined carbohydrates. So refined carbohydrates, so when I was talking about you gotta be careful with your triglyceride, your cholesterol. What causes high triglycerides, which then is an indication of insulin resistance, who then brings on not just heart disease but also type 2 diabetes. It's bad sugars, sucrose in particular, and fructose, but also refined carbohydrates. So what are refined carbohydrates? Basically, think of anything that is being processed and is white, generally speaking. So you got rice is a grain that grows. So you're thinking, when I'm talking, going by the principle, does it grow like that in nature? Yes, it does. White rice doesn't. Whole grain rice grows like that. Wild rice grows like that. White rice has been processed and all the goodness has been taken out of it. Yeah. And guess what? The white rice is really, really, really high glycemic. So it's actually really, really bad for you if you have sugar control problems. Yeah. And it's so refined that if you have white rice all the time, it will start increasing your triglyceride levels as well. Yeah. Refined vegetables, we cover that. So you want to stay clear of all the stuff, because and you find that stuff in all the processed food. So it's not about saturated fat, it's about bad sugars, bad oils, yeah, so refined vegetable oils, all put in one food, and that food is called processed food. Yeah, so that's where your problems are. So read the labels, everything. If you're not sure, this is what I do with my clients, by the way. So my clients, when they come to me for personal training, they have to record the food diary on a free application called My Fitness Pal. And if they're not sure about anything, I always tell them, send me a picture of a food you want to buy, if you're going to buy anything. Because the reality is, we will eat processed food at one point or another. So it's Christmas time. What's going to happen? Mince pies. Yeah, I'm not saying, don't ever touch a mince pie in your life for the rest of your life. But just understand what you're eating. So be aware of what you're eating. So yes, you may have, 1 or 2 mince pies, but that's it. Don't have a whole packet. Don't have them every day. Yeah, so you can minimize the damage. So what I tell my clients, when you go in the supermarket, you're not sure whether you should be buying something, whether something is healthy for you, you're not quite sure, you don't, what the label says. I said, send me a picture of it, and I'll be able to tell you. Reading the picture, I'll be able to tell you. So, and what happens very often, they send me the front of a package. It looks lovely, but it tells me nothing. I want the nutritional content, nutritional value, information of the product. So it contains protein, carbohydrate with sugars, fat with saturated fat, polyunsaturated, and so forth. And then I want to see the ingredients list, even more important, because that will tell me whether the product is crap or not. Yeah, and then I give them advice based on that, and that's what we should all get into the habit of doing. Just look at the back of a packet to get all your information, and that's the only way I deal with my clients. So they need to record the food diaries, and then if ever unsure, just send me a picture and I can check what's going on. Yeah, and I help in that way. There is also another thing that impacts on how the food, especially processed food, will impact your health. Now, there's genetics. Now, to give indication what I'm talking about is, I said white rice is not very good. Having white rice all the time is high glycemic and so forth. Now, certain ethnicities actually do well with white rice, and I give an indication. Chinese. Yeah, if you have Chinese in China, now things are changing now because there's a lot of Western food, processed food going in there, which is messing up everything. But years ago, before the Western culture got into the country, when it was mainly the traditional Chinese food, actually Chinese food is white rice, small portion of either fish or meat, yeah, and lots of veggies. Yes, have rice like we have bread. Yeah, so you think, oh, but that can be good for you. Well, every country, every type of person, if you like, has developed a certain tolerance to certain foods over many generations. So if you take Chinese in China, they eat a prevalent Chinese type of diet, and they find they're actually quite skinny. Yeah, they don't tend to have prevalence of diabetes, dementia, or anything like that. Yeah, heart disease. However, move those Chinese into a obesogenic environment, so an environment where there's foods that create obesity and diabetes, like the UK, like the States, United States, and guess what? All of a sudden, those Chinese people become obese and they get diabetes. Because what happens, not only they have the food that genetically they work better with, which would be in the Chinese typical, diet, but they add the bad Western diet, and all of a sudden you got a cocktail perfect for heart disease and diabetes. Yeah, so like for example, I'm Italian. Yeah, so in Italy, when I was in Italy, I was eating a lot of gluten and Mediterranean diet and stuff like that, and I was absolutely fine. I came to the UK, within 6 years developed celiac disease. Now, genetically, I already had the gene for celiac disease, but then whenever activated in Italy, for 19 years I was in Italy, having gluten with a pizza, bread, pasta, no problem. Because I was following a diet, a Mediterranean diet, yeah. I came to the UK, a combination of very stressful lifestyle, smoking, which didn't help, of course, and all of a sudden introduction of things like chocolates and cakes, and bad diet, which I wouldn't have touched in Italy, yeah, when I was there, and all of a sudden, boom, my bad gene activated, and that with autoimmune, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, is everybody's different. Same with India, Indian, a lot of Indian eating tends to be a lot of vegan or vegetarian, and they do very well in India. Well, not anymore now, because again, they got McDonald's and all sorts of stuff that's creating havoc there, but they were actually doing very well. They were active, and even having a diet very high in carbohydrates, they were doing very well, high in fats as well, ghee and paneer, lots of not necessarily good fats as well, paneer, but they actually, they didn't have incidence of disease. All of a sudden, the Western food, McDonald's, all that, everything's going pear-shaped, and the disease is increasing. But also, Indian people, they immigrated to the UK and to other countries. They start eating the diet while still eating the diet that they've been raised to do, and their body genetically has adapted to, and boom, obese, diabetes. If anything, Asian genetics are actually more at risk of type 2 diabetes, because generally they tend to store in the mid-waist, yeah, in the midriff, as we call it. So if if genetically your your ethnicity predisposes you to certain diseases, then the best thing you can do is stick to the diet that your ancestors had, because that's what your genes have adapted around. Yeah, so the moment you start introducing things that from other type of diet alongside where you go, is going to cause problems in your body. Yeah, especially when it comes to processed food in the Western world anyway. Yeah, most importantly is, as I said, I can take the horse to water, I can't make the horse drink. Yeah, so I can give you all this lot of information. At the end of the day, it's just your choice on what you're gonna do with that. I mean, if everybody or the majority of people say, well, I'm gonna start with labels, and I'm not gonna go for food that contains all this crap, and I'm just gonna go for food that's gonna be good for me, there will be the sale of processed food that suffers bad for us will decrease. And if the sales decrease, the less demand, there will be less supply, and then the price of the stuff that's good for us, the healthy stuff, will come down because there'll be more demand for that. At the moment, the demand is for the crappy stuff. Yeah, so the price of that is low, and the price of the good stuff is actually high. That's where the problem is. Yeah, so if everybody started thinking twice before just picking up stuff from the shelf and just eating it. Yeah, and if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your kids, because the way things are at the moment, today's generation, children being born today, children that have been born in the last 10 years, they will not outlive us. They will die young. Yeah, and it's not only that, it's not just about lifespan. We shorten lifespan because of all these crappy products we have that we eat, yeah, without thinking about it. But even the quality of life, the health span, is decreasing. I mean, do you want to live until you're 80 and be like a vegetable in a wheelchair, riddled by disease because what you didn't look after yourself, nutritionally wise, activity wise, and lifestyle wise? Would you want to live until you're 80, 85 if in the condition? No, thank you very much, I'd rather die before. Yeah, so it's about health span, not just lifespan. The decision we're making today will affect how long our children will live and what quality of life they will have. Yeah, so children don't, they are naive, they're young, they're innocent. It's up to us as parents to say, okay, listen, you can have a treat, but for the rest of the time, it's going to be nice and clean food. Yeah, it's okay. You want to give them treats every now and again. It's their birthday, but don't give them treats all the time. Don't give them processed food just because it's easier to cook, just because it's cheaper, because, it's a false economy. Yeah, you want to give cheap food to your children, because you're going to save money, but you're going to spend money on medication, on prescription, because they will need prescription when the health goes down the drain. Yeah, and also for yourself, because you can tell children learn from what the parents do. So you can even tell a child, okay, I'm going to feed you all the right things, so cook very good food for your children, but then you go and have your pies and your pizzas and your takeaways. Kids don't learn by what you tell them, they learn by what they see. Yeah, we got 2 eyes, 1 mouth, for one reason. We learn from here. Most people are visual, so if you give them a lovely plate with lots of vegetables, good meat or whatever might be the case, yeah, and then you're sitting next to them and you're having a McDonald's takeaway, guess what? They're going to copy you when they're older. They're not going to look what they're going to play. They're going to copy you when they're older. Yeah, so what you're doing, you might not care about damaging your health, but what you're doing now will damage your children's health in future, because they will copy you. Yeah, so that is, if anything else fails, if your mouth is more important to you, taste is more important to you than your health, just think of your children's health, because we need to stop this now. 20 years of current guidelines, which are so wrong, have tripled the rates of diabetes in the UK. Yeah, we keep at this rate, our children will die at the age of 50, crippled with autoimmune, diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer. Alzheimer is type 3 diabetes. Alzheimer is insulin resistance of the brain. So, you know, it's getting worse. There's so many things that are coming out at the moment. They find the link to you know, to bad diet and bad lifestyle. Yeah. So some type of cancers are linked to that as well. You know, we all, as I always say, we all have good and bad genes. Whether our bad genes get activated depends on 4 factors, the 4 pillars of health: nutrition, activity, stress level, and sleep quality. Yeah, so you can eat the perfect diet in the world. If you don't move, if you're stressed out, you don't control your stress level, and if you don't sleep enough because you're busy being maybe on Facebook or watching television, yeah, then you will not achieve anything. Yeah, you will still get ill. Because guess what? When you're stressed out, when you're tired, you make the wrong choice. Eventually, your diet will go down the drain. Same likewise, you know, you can I go to the gym every day. Yeah, you can train until the cows come home. But if your diet is crap, you're not going to achieve nothing. You know, have you ever seen the skinny fat? Have you heard of skinny fat? Supermodels, typical example of skinny fat. People think they look good. Yeah, they got very high percentage of body fat. Why? Because they don't train. They just starve themselves to fit in the bikini for the photo shoot and everything. Yeah. So by the way, they're not the only one. Bodybuilders. I mean, bodybuilders are great, but you know what it takes to be good bodybuilder? You completely screw up your body. You do the period of bulking when you eat far too much calories, and they don't care what calories they are, the calories. So they are bad fats, proteins, a lot of stuff. Train heavy in the gym to build the muscle. Then you follow it by the leaning out period. Yeah, so of course, drop the calorie drastically, drop the fat drastically. Yeah, keep your protein high, so you just shrink, lose all the body fat, and then you can show these very good, nice muscles. And then for competition, they're gonna dehydrate themselves completely so that they can shrink a little bit more and get even more muscle definition. That creates havoc to your body. I know personal trainer. When I first started personal training, and I used to work in the gym, there was a girl there, personal trainer there, who was, from the age of 17, was doing bodybuilding. She was scouted from an American company, and she did bodybuilding for 10 years. Following this diet, bulk up, then, you know, then lean out, bulk up, lean out, bulk up, lean out. Yeah, with no attention whatsoever to the quality of food. It was all about calories, all about training hard. It totally screwed her up to the point where her hormones were completely messed up. She was infertile as a result of that. In addition to that, she could not lose fat anymore. Every time she started eating, once she came out of her environment, she started eating healthily, she was struggling to lose fat. Her body's ability to drop fat had gone completely AWOL. Why? Because it's like a yo-yo diet, bodybuilding diet. Bulk up, diet, bulk up, diet, bulk up, diet. You can't treat your body like that. You can't abuse your body like that and expect it to work. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, so eat healthily. Eat, you know, when you're hungry. Don't eat because it's lunchtime. Don't eat because it's breakfast. Don't eat because it's dinner. Because I only eat when I'm hungry. That's once a day. Because I got a diet that works for my body. I don't get hungry more than that. I'm finished, done. And then I can stay without eating, and my energy level remains the same. You know, my clarity, mental clarity remains the same. So you eat when you're hungry. Listen to your body. Go back to basic. Listen to your body. Nutrition, healthy diet, activity, move, move, move. Yeah, the human body is built to move, not to sit down 23 hours a day. Sleep. You gotta sleep enough. Quality of sleep as well as length of sleep, and control your stress level. Do not worry about pettiness. You know, I've just been in the shops to buy some vegetable bits and pieces for Christmas. You know, Christmas lunch, and oh my God, it's like being in a pack of wolves. I mean, people are going ballistic. You think we're going to have a drought, we're going to have scarcity from now on? I know we're going through Brexit, but you know, we're not there yet. So people are behaving like there's not going to be food for the next century. Elbows out, pushing and shoving, and rude as hell. What is going on? It's food, for God's sake, you know. I mean, it's, you know, starving. Actually, a lot of people could do with fasting, you know, to get the body back on track, you know. But this is ridiculous. This is what's happening. Yeah, we're losing perspective of everything. Go back to basics. eat the foods that are right for you, move, yeah, and most importantly, read what you're eating. Do not trust the front, read what you're eating. And by the way, if ingredient list is that long, I'm telling you that food is not good for you. Yeah, and if it's anything that you don't know what it means, you put it back down on the shelf. Because you should know what you're eating. Yeah, and it's as I say, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your children. If you want to have your children, you want to see your children grow old and have their own family, yeah, and enjoy life in good health, then you got to do, you owe this to yourself and you owe it to your children to start reading those freaking labels. Understand them. If you don't understand them, listen, you want to send me a message on Messenger, you want to send me a picture on WhatsApp, on Facebook, just send me the picture. I'm quite happy to help you out. Yeah, I do that with my clients. I don't mind doing it for the people. It's just trying to get the information out there. Do not believe the front of the package. Actually ignore the front of the package. Go straight to the back and see what you're eating. Yeah, so that's all I want to say, guys. I hope you find this useful. And Christmas is around the corner, so I know we're gonna eat some processed foods. I won't, but I know lots of people will. I mean, that's me. I just I'm carnivore at the moment, so I just I only eat certain things. But if you are gonna go for food that they're not brilliant, okay, listen. You're not going to die, because the chances are you've eaten processed food all the way till now anyway. So you're not going to die if you have a mince pie. You're not going to die if you have a little bit Christmas pudding. It's not the end of the world. However, moderation is the key word. And still, given the choices, try to choose the thing that is the less damaging, shall we say. Yeah, okay. So like example, giving a quick example just to help you out. Chocolate. Yeah, so chocolate is not good for you. So of course, it's highly processed, it's full in sugars, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you're given a choice between milk chocolate and dark chocolate, go for dark chocolate. Dark chocolate has got like sugars, it's got high fat, it's also got higher level antioxidants, which is actually quite good for you. Yeah, and when I talk about dark chocolate, I'm not talking 70%. No, that's not good enough. You want to go 85% at least. That's dark chocolate. Yeah, so that's what you're gonna go for. A couple of squares of those not only will satisfy your sweet cravings, but also will give you some antioxidants, much less damage than milk chocolate, because we all know milk chocolate is very moorish. You start having that and you'll have a whole packet, then you want some more after that. Yeah, okay, so it's about choosing the least of evils rather than going without, because we know we have to be in a realistic world. Yeah, we know we're not going to go without. However, choose your battles, yeah, and most importantly, make sure that your choices are good, not just for you but for your children as well. Let's stop the diabetes epidemic. Okay, so have a great Christmas, everybody. This is the last live before Christmas, maybe the last live before New Year, we'll see. Anyway, I think if I hear some more crap going on and I need to address it, and I feel I need to address it, I'll address it before that. But in the meantime, everybody have a wonderful Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or I don't know, what do you do, Diwali, I don't know what it is. Anyway, just whatever you celebrate, have a good time. Make the most of it when things are shut, when the businesses are shut. If you have some holiday time, please spend time with your loved one. Talk to them. Don't spend time on the computers or your mobile phones or Facebook. Spend it talking. Talk to people. Yeah, understand what's going on in the family and help each other out. Merry Christmas, and if I don't see you before the new year, have a wonderful start of 2019. I know I will. Otherwise, if I see you before with another live, I will remind you again and say happy new year at that point. Bye everyone, enjoy the rest of the week.